Hello, welcome to 1 Hour SaaS. My name is Mubashir Iqbal. You can call me Mubs. I am building a SaaS business in just 1 hour a day. This is update for hour number 20 of building podcast ping, uptime monitoring for podcasters. Today, I just kind of resumed some of the work that I planned to do yesterday, but wasn't in the right frame of mind for. So it was just a bunch of cleanup that I wanted to do. We just kind of went through I just went through and cleaned up some of the checks that we added, the check types that we added that we were going to not do for the MVP. So I added like a feature flag on each one of those just to say whether they were enabled or not. And I also went through and built the check for the website status check as well as the RSS feed check that we did. I did notice an error in how I handled that based on the different errors that the HTTP call could return as well. So I fixed that one as well. And then we also I just kind of was curious to know what a good way was to kind of actually show the status of a podcast in terms of whether it's healthy in a warning state or if it's unhealthy. So we kind of ran through and I did that really quickly as well. So just quickly diving in through the code, I guess. I just put it into the controller for here right now, but basically when we're showing the podcast, I kind of figured that a good way to do it would be to kind of loop through and check if each of those checks is enabled, and if it's enabled, depending on what status it is, we kind of increment a count for whether things are healthy, unhealthy, or in a warning state, and then based on the counts of those, we set a different status. So if something is unhealthy, if there's one thing that's unhealthy, we mark it as unhealthy. If there's one thing that's in a warning state, we mark it as a warning state. Otherwise, if we have something that is healthy, then we put it into the healthy state. And so I was doing some testing with that, and you can kind of see that the status is unknown right now because I kind of moved things into kind of an unknown state. And then we could obviously just run the checks. So if I run the checks, now everything should, in theory, be marked as healthy. So we have healthy and healthy because those are the only two checks that we have. And if I refresh this page, we can see that the status is healthy now. So that was just a quick little check just to do that. So we do have those two checks that ran. One is for the RSS feed, and then one is for the website as well. And then, yeah, like I said, the only other thing that I did today was adding a feature flag on the actual check types themselves. So if you look in the DB here, there's now kind of an enabled flag. So those are the only two that we've enabled. We will do other checks as well, just to kind of make sure that is all set up. So yeah, so that kind of change kind of flowed through when you add a podcast. Now when you enter it manually, we only see the two that are enabled. So I had to kind of do some logic around that stuff as well. But other than that, that's it for today. Still making progress. Things are getting closer. There's just a lot of little cleanup to do, and then lots of UI work to make it all coherent and understandable for the user. Make sure everything's working properly. But I think we're getting to the point where, we've got to the point now where you can add a podcast, we can run checks on it, and we know the status of your podcast, whether it's healthy or unhealthy based on the two checks we're going to have at launch. So, as far as functionally, it's got all the features that the MVP will need. Obviously, from a user interface perspective and stuff, we've still got a long way to go. So actually, no, there's still one bit of functionality that's remaining, which is right now, we're not sending emails out to anybody. They're just coming to me right now, which is not very helpful. So the next hour or the next hour or two maybe, is going to be devoted to like managing how notifications are sent, or to which email addresses notifications are sent. So we're probably gonna have to do that on the team level. So on the team level, you'll attach email addresses, or maybe at the podcast level. I don't know. We'll see. Probably at the podcast level, actually, you'll be able to say these are the email. Actually, I don't know. I think I already set this up in the DB. So we have notification emails. So there's a team ID and then there's an email address. So yeah, so I think I thought about it and it made sense to do it at the team level. So if you have multiple podcasts, you can just kind of add it once. But yeah, so there'll be a way in the team to add an email address that you want to use for notifications. We'll have to send you an email to confirm that you do actually want to receive those. And then once that's enabled, we'll have to update the process for sending the checks out to actually send those emails out. And it won't just be emails long term, but that's what it will be for right now. But that'll be in the next hour. So hopefully you can, hopefully you'll keep watching and see how I'm progressing. So see you next time.